Good morning to everybody. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. I will wait for some people to join in and to this live feed. Good morning to every single one of you. Giving you guys an update on the current situations that are happening right now in terms to this tragedy that just occurred in Texas yesterday, and that sadly the number has been given out right now by the Secretary of Exterior Relations. Uh, they just communicated what is the actual number on the statistics and practically the number of the people that they have passed away on this tragedy that had just occurred yesterday in Texas. Um, this is what open borders will do. This is what open borders will do to these kind of situations we're talking about yesterday. Sadly, they say almost 50 people have died from this tragedy that has just occurred. Good morning to everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News, correspondent for Real America's Boys News and the Wendy Bell Radio Network. It is with entire sadness that I say this, that 22 of those 50 migrants were from Mexico, and that today, uh, 50, almost 50 of them, they have been confirmed that they have passed away. The Mexican president just spoke this morning, and he said that he is going to do whatever he can to transport the migrants that they have passed away, their bodies into their homes with their families, and also he is going to help the people from Guatemala that they were also in there, and also try to help to transport also the bodies with people from Honduras that they were right there also. 22 of these migrants that they have passed away are from Mexico. This tells you ultimately that this is a humongous problem that we have in our borders. I believe that nationalism and all this kind of stuff uh, is not important right now. What is important is to fix this problem. That it is an open border. What open border will do when you have an administration, a current administration in the United States of America, who does not care about the well-being of the migrants. And what do I say by this? What I say is that ultimately there needs to be a process and there needs to be a way for migrants to migrate and for them to understand that this is the process. When you don't have a process and when you have an open border, you will incentivize other people to take advantage of these situations of vulnerable people. And the vulnerable people that they have taken advantage of are the migrants, and those are the cartel, the organized crime, the smugglers, the coyotes, the traffickers. We have seen multiple buses and multiple tractor trailers come out of the part of Tapachula, the state of Chiapas, where they have found 300 or 360 migrants, then later on discovered in the state of Veracruz. They pass by the untouchable checkpoints in Chiapas because a lot of them they are arranged already and they are paid off to the government. And ultimately, then later on, they're found in another inspection points. This is a multi-million business. Not only this tragedy in Texas where 22 Mexicans have lost their lives being trafficked into the United States of America because they think that that is the only option. Not only that, but in Melilla, the border with Nador, Morocco, and Spain, more than 27 died, suffocated in an avalanche as they were trying to jump to the wall and also to migrate into Spain. There needs to be a solution. The solution is not, there needs to be a solution, and the solution is immigration reform. Ultimately, it needs to happen, not only in the United States, in Mexico, in all countries. It's an immigration world reform. And if that doesn't happen, well, they need to help the third world class countries where you have an enormous insecurity, poverty, lack of education, and also not only that, but insecurity. Pope Francis, I believe, just spoke, and he said these kind of tragedies need to stop. The tragedies that occurred right now in Texas and also in Melilla, in Spain, as continuous incidents like this happen. I have walked multiple caravans with migrants. I'm not going to lie, my heart has completely changed into trying to understand to the legitimate cases, quote, legitimate cases of asylum, trying to understand why they put themselves into this travesty. And this is the actual situation and the catastrophes and the consequences. When they get to a point where they don't know what to do, they will find the exit that is a coyote, a trafficker. And that ultimately this coyote and trafficker will not care about your life if you are in the back of a tractor trailer, suffocating, trying to breathe, and trying to live. The problem with immigration in Mexico is simple, as simple as it is in other countries. But we understand it in our country of Mexico, what is going on and what is happening. A lot of these migrants are from Michoacan, from Guerrero, the place where these states are controlled by the cartel and the organized crime. The organized crime and the cartel has control in our country. In Mexico, we have 8 cities on the top 10 for violence and homicides in the world. We are number 1 for cartel activity, number 3 for trafficking of children and trafficking of people, and number 5 for clandestine bearings. We have enormous insecurity in our country. Our president, he is an incompetent individual who prefers to say that he wants to protect leaders of cartels because they have humanitarian rights also. Leftist governments and leftist policies tells you something right now. They do not work. And ultimately, right-wing policies have not been working also in countries like Mexico, Central and South America. It is noticeable that right-wing policies have created more poverty and slavery into capitalism. But it is that, or it is this. Catastrophe over catastrophe. This is a humanitarian crisis, a world humanitarian crisis. When you live it, when you walk with them, when you see them, you understand that this goes beyond a border policy. This is the actual situation of their own countries. When migrants passed away or when migrants die, they tell you that they're willing to die in a foreign land than to die in their own land. This needs to stop. The Biden administration has created this chaos. The Biden administration, I remember clearly, and it gets me so upset because I remember clearly when Joe Biden was standing in front of Donald Trump in a debate. And he turned his cheek in front of the TV, of the camera. And he said to the millions of people that they were watching in the world, I am going to create a better pathway for migrants. I will stop the children from suffering and migrating and through dangerous journeys. I will give more than 11 million people documents so they will not be undocumented in the country of the United States. Do you remember that debate, Joe Biden? You said that there were no traffickers. After that, I did a video. And that video went viral because I spoke to you and I told you, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't know that there's multiple hundreds and thousands of unaccompanied minors that they are being trafficked. Coyotes and traffickers, that they are making billions out of the humanitarian crisis of migrants. This same president, it is the same president that it was a vice president under the Obama administration, that every Hispanic and Latino had hope because he was African American. That same Obama administration was the one that deported, incarcerated, and also, not only that, deported more unaccompanied minors in history of the United States of America. They built the cages for children in the United States of America, and they were exposed by every mainstream media. They used the private prison system to make millions of dollars with irregular illegal entry and re-entry, a federal crime, by incentivizing them to come. It is a copy paste of what is happening right now. Add to the fact that in the Obama administration, Obama was part of the globalist compact of immigration. Then the Trump administration came in and they were not. But again, Biden comes back and says, I want to be part of the globalist compact of immigration. And he's a collaborator himself. Is this the better pathway, Joe Biden, that you so much talk about for migrants? Is this the pathway that you are talking about, migrants dying in the Darien Gap, continuously being raped, women, men, and children, migrants dying, drowning in the Darien Gap, when you have Alejandro Mayorkas, the director of Homeland Security, going to the Darien Gap and saying, we have a problem, but we can control it. That was his response. Migrants dying on their trajectory to Mexico, being kidnapped in Mexico by the cartel and the organized crime. Migrants being smuggled through a river that now it is the door of refugee in the world. The river of the Rio Grande and the river between Eagle Pass and Del Rio, Texas. Every migrant from the world knows that that door is the door of refugee. Is that what you think that is the solution? That is your better pathway. And yesterday, 46 migrants have died. 22 of them are from Mexico, from our country of Mexico. Does it hurt? Yes, it hurt. Does it hurt because they're only Mexican? No. Whatever nationality they are, 19 of them, they haven't identified their nationality. What hurts is that this is a humanitarian crisis and that this is continuing to happen, not only in the continent of America, but also in Europe, where in Europe, more than 27 died trying to cross into Spain. It is obvious that immigration reform needs to happen, and that is the solution. Immigration reform, not only in the United States, but in every country, or these third world class countries need to be helped to fight their corruption, their insecurity, their low educational level, their infrastructure, and everything that comes with the country being insecure. This is a catastrophe. Another one. And it is some of the questions that a lot of people ask is, where are the United Nations? Where are these international organizations? They're going to stand in front of the camera. They're going to say that they are going to support and they're going to help. But they do not stop the problem. They continue to funnel the problem more continuously, to funnel more money through international organizations and NGOs, and to carry this problem continuously and through every Central American and South American country. They don't fix it. They incentivize it. And today, as a report has been said, 22 Mexicans have died, suffocated in the back of a tractor trailer. The Mexican president just spoke and said that one of his priorities this week will be to sit down with the Biden administration and try to fix this humongous problem that is being actually happening in the country of Mexico, Central American and South American countries. Mexico, it is complicit also. Not the Mexican people, the Mexican government, who is allowing this humongous smuggling to continue, trafficking to continue, and these massive influxes to continue into our south borders without no control, without no filter, without knowing how they are going to transport and move themselves, if they're going to risk their lives or not, if they are vulnerable to society or not. This is a humanitarian crisis. It is what it is. How's everybody doing? Good morning to everybody. I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News correspondent for Real America's Voice News and the Wendy Bell Radio Network. Thank you so much for joining in. A lot of people are saying close the border. It is not close the border, it is secure the border. Learn your language. Close the border, it will affect your economy and will ultimately hit you in the toe. The United States depends on international capitalism, as corporate America makes 3,000% more in third world class countries. Secure the border by doing a correct legal migration, a process where you can help immediately refugees in every country of the world, and ultimately, not only that, help in their countries so people will not migrate. Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, has said that migration from El Salvador, kicking their people out from their country, it is a huge mistake. Why it is a huge mistake? Because he wants his good people to stay in his country. By letting migration continue, it tells you that it's never going to stop. And the problem is never going to get fixed. The problem is to fix the infrastructure, the economical disaster that ultimately a lot of the countries are happening and a lot of countries are having. Thank you so much for joining in this morning. Hopefully, now Hispanic Americans in the United States of America will understand what this Biden administration cares about so much, that they are humanitarian processes. I will ask this question to all Hispanics right now. That they voted for Joe Biden. And not even talking about politics. Let me ask you one question. Is this the better pathway that Joe Biden talked about so much? Is this the fantastic pathway for migrants that he talked about so much? Is this it? Is this it? When opening up your border, you have so much insecurities and incentivizations. And one of them is the organized crime and the cartel. And as it shows, yesterday, they're ruthless, they're heartless, and they do not care to leave more than 46 people on the back of a tractor trailer to suffocate with children. God bless you all. Sad day. Really, it's a really sad day since yesterday. And I ask myself this question when I have walked with so many caravans, and that we have been doing this for 4 years now. I ask myself this question. In the last caravan, I'll be honest with you guys. It have been a couple of moments that I have broke down. One of them was when I saw a mother from Honduras bury her child because of the dehydration of a caravan. And in the last caravan with 15,000 that I was walking, there was a point where I was standing in the middle of the jungle and the road, and I saw a kid with no shoes, 5 years of age, no shoes, no socks, no t-shirt, just some sweatpants, walking. And I went to him and I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from Venezuela." "Why are you not wearing shoes?" He said, "My mom is carrying my shoes." "What do you want to be when you grow up?" "I want to be a police officer." "Where are you going?" "I'm going to a country that I don't know." It teaches you a lot to value what you have and to understand that not all of us have the same opportunities in life that other people have. Open borders, it is not the solution. Fixing the problem immediately in their countries, it is the solution. Immigration reform, it is the solution. Making people migrate and walk for kilometers and kilometers, going through a jungle, and people sadly dying in the back of a tractor trailer, suffocated, or dying in Spain in an avalanche, being pushed over by other thousands of people. It is not the solution. This is your better pathway, huh, Joe Biden? This is your pathway, Alejandro Mayorkas, Department of Homeland Security. You, the one that neglected your own Cuban people for migrating because of communist dictatorship of Diaz-Canel. These are your pathways. Inhuman. That's what these people are. God bless you all. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, peace and love, because always your country's first. God bless.